why in just a second. But anyway, let's talk about the 4 keys to growth from being in the position that you're in here. They're really, really, really simple. And write these down too, because this is going to be the magnet that pulls you back on course. Because sometimes we get off of course, we get lost out in the nebula, as I like to say it, when you feel like things are just getting so misconstrued and you're starting to worry about all these little details, when in reality, maybe it's just, they pretty much, all these fundamentals, it's pretty much all this. When in reality, one of these are off. Number 2 is time. One, pitch. 2, time. 3, consistency. 4, refine. These are literally the 4 keys, the 4 fundamentals to this job. If you just focused on these, you'd be extremely successful. Let me tell you why. Number 1, the pitch. First of all, and people that are working here, that's been here for a while, can tell you, if you do not know your pitch, I ain't talking about knowing it as in getting 70% of the way through it, you're stumbling, you sound like Porky the Pig. That's not knowing your pitch. Knowing your pitch is being able to say it verbatim, word for word, confidently, every time, without hesitation. That's knowing your pitch. And until you can learn that and feel that confident with your pitch, you can't worry about none of the other shit. Because it don't matter. Because without knowing your pitch, how are you even going to succeed here? That's literally the backbone of the entire operation, is knowing that pitch. Anybody, I mean, how many people in here has seen the effects of struggling with your pitch at somebody's door? They'll tell you, get out of here. You better be able to speak, think quick and speak quick. When I stumble over my words or something, you should just easily throw out, oh, I'm new, I'm just getting my ground going. Sorry about that, but I got some important information for you. And sometimes people will be, a little, I guess, sympathetic. Yeah, sympathetic. There we go. Sympathetic for you. But most of the time, not. So anyway, pitch is number 1. So without your pitch, nothing else can happen. Number 2, putting in the time. If you're not putting in the time to be successful, then how could you ever expect to be successful? A lot of people, I've done it. I mean, probably everybody in this room has done it, work 30, 40 hours a week. Who's been in a 40-hour work week job? Oh, and I got something good to talk to y'all about here in just a minute. Yeah, that fires me up just thinking about it. But 40 hours a week now. People, and then bed for overtime. A lot of you heard me say it. That's the norm here. It's like people, can you, when doing interviews, people say, can I get 40 hours? I don't even recommend it. I don't recommend working more than 30. Because if somebody's consistently, if somebody knows their pitch confidently, like I was saying, and puts in 30 hours a week here, you shouldn't make any less than $2,000 a week. Kane just hit it. How many hours did Kane work last week?
He didn't clock in.
Because you don't need that shit. Yeah, that's the thing. If you put in the time, you don't need the clock in. What do you need it for? People get tangled up in that $20 an hour. $20 an hour, that is garbage here. If you're ever making $20 an hour here, you need to recalibrate, rethink what you're actually doing here. But he's like, what? Yeah, it's trash here. It's trash money. Trust me. But putting in that time. Now, typically, with just these 2, you can have success. Because solar's a no-brainer for people. You can go walk through as many doors, put in that time, walk up to, even if you ain't, even if your pitch is off a little bit, somebody's going to say, solar, damn, I was just looking at that. Yeah, set me up. You talk to enough people, you're going to get it. But then, pitch, time, and then consistency. With those 3, you can be successful here. 100%. At least get 6 pitches a week. That's $720 a week. And if you're putting in 20-hour minimum, that's $36 an hour. So it's an instant upgrade from 5 pitches, which is $450 a week, to 6 pitches. One more pitch might take you 2 or 3 hours to do. We'll say 2 hours. You can go out, grind 2 hours. You can set a good solid appointment, utility bill, all that in 2 hours. Boom, it gets pitched. That's an extra $270. So then, you know, what's wrong with $135 an hour to go get that extra one? Some people don't do it though. You know? Everybody can, you know, I guess. I guess it's hard if we get up there for an extra 2 hours. Get 135 bucks a piece for them. All right, consistency. Without consistency, none of the other stuff. Like this, you won't see the consistent results. You will not hit those top tier checks every single week. And we're going to talk about how the round robin is split here later too, but that's going to open up a lot of opportunity for everybody. But we'll get into that later. But that consistency makes everything tick, because guess what? Without consistency, you can't see consistent results. Does that make sense? I mean, that's about as simple as it gets right there, ain't it? You don't have consistency, how could you ever expect consistent results? Some people do. Shit, I don't know why, but they do. They think things gonna fall out of the sky. So consistency, knowing your pitch, putting in the time. Then only can you start to refine, and that's when you can really dig down.
Hey, boss.
Big dog right there.
How are you?
Big 15 pack. How's that feel?
You're great on more doors, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Go for 20. Why not? 22 is when you break the 3,000 mark. 22 pitches is $3,080. Isn't that wild? It's fun stuff. I mean, what is that? That's over $100 an hour for 30 hours, and it can be done. I'm sure some of the new folks and people who've been here, you know how building your weeks correctly can impact that. So I think Mike went over that in his trainings, right? Building weeks. That's really important. But only then, number 4 is when you can start refining. Once you're consistent with your pitch and time. Damn. I was like a rhyme or something, wasn't it? Hey, jot that down. But seriously, after you become good with these 3, that's when you can focus on the little details. Am I piquing enough curiosity at the door? Am I battling their skepticism enough? Am I building my weeks correctly? Am I getting the utility bill every single time? Those things come, and this literally takes, I mean, you can, putting in the pitch and the time, it's instant. You can instantly make that happen. Consistency, you gotta at least do a couple weeks to develop consistent habits, but you can start refining and worrying about all those little details very quick. But all the other stuff has to come first. Does this make sense to everybody? Yeah. Now look, that's it. How many times have you guys been into a new job or something, they give you a stack of paper, oh, here's the job list. It literally hits the desk like that. You're like, and they paying you $10 an hour for it. That's it. I'm telling you. And that's wild. And you can make at least 36 an hour here. 20 hours. Anybody got questions on that? And the reason I wanted to share this is I come up with a 4 keys to growth for an office, and then I was just like, I started thinking, I think I was on an airplane, I said, well damn, it ain't really but about 4 keys to everything in life. And I started writing it down, so I come up with these 4 keys to growth for you guys, because whenever you're out there, you can always come back to this, and you can relate it to what you're doing. Do you know your pitch? Most people have been here for a while, you know your pitch. But then you can say, oh, well, I'm not getting the results I want. Am I putting in enough time? Are you? Are you being consistent with your time and pitch every single time? Sometimes the experienced people will want to change their pitch up because maybe I say a pitch, oh, that sounds good. I want to say that. They do, and guess what happens? Production. Because everything changes then, the whole dynamic. You're saying a different pitch, guess what you're going to get? Different reactions from people that you aren't used to, you're not confident in handling, and then boom, next thing you know, you're gonna be like, this job ain't for me, I ain't had 6 pitches in 3 weeks. And you get so tangled up in all that, and it's like, well, you still using it? Oh, no, I changed my, that's why. Be consistent with your pitch. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because you get confident with that, and then the confidence is actually what gets appointment set. But then you can really think about that. Now, if you're consistent with all of this, then you can start thinking about, all right, now I can focus on piquing curiosity. That's when you can start maximizing your pitch percentage and doing all that. So keep these close to you, and when you get lost or feel like you're getting off track or get in the cloud of whatever, come back and say, am I doing this? Because just with these 4 things, that's going to lead you to success here, and it'll help you reach your goals. Everybody on board with that? All right, good deal. Let's move on. Ooh, with this in Richmond, last week. Richmond, yeah. Everybody got this? All right. Don't. Has everybody heard that expression, thinking outside the box? Everybody's heard that. That's for creativity. It's like, oh, an outside the box thinkers. I mean, you're creative. Oh, yeah. Think new ways around things. But this, I don't even know why I said circle. I wasn't even thinking about outside the box at that point, but I come up with this. It's like thinking outside the circle. Oh, it's because I was talking about social circles and the influence that they have on us. But it ain't my man's this time. Usually that's my man's right there with that smiley face when I'm doing new hire training. But it ain't gonna be him today. Now, thinking outside the circle here. What this is, and I'll tell you what this is, when we can only, and this is crazy too, but I was wondering why, because we have so many new hires, and this specifically came from a guy that we interviewed him. His name's James, cool cat. I mean, great personality, he'll crush the interview. And he was sitting there telling me, he says, yeah, I've been working at Cookout for the last year, making $8.25 an hour, 40 plus hours a week. And he worked there for a year, and he said he hated it every day. And you know me, I'm sitting back there like, what the hell? Why'd you stay? Hey, that to me, I can't figure that out. I mean, I understand it, and then I had to figure out some way why he was staying. But then when I was thinking about that, I started just thinking about everything in general. So I was like, why are people constricted to just these little, like working at Cookout? And I'm about to talk about this thing too in a second. But just working for that amount of money, letting the company tell you how much you're worth, saying they told you, you're worth $8.25. You're gonna do what we tell you, you're gonna show up on time, controlling that man's future. And he let it happen. So this is why I kept thinking outside the circle. The only reason I could think of is because, say out here, we got somebody, for whatever reason, making $2,000 a week. To James, that seems impossible. For whatever reason, he can't see past this barrier. He hears about it, and for whatever reason, he just can't see, like, oh, that ain't gonna happen. I didn't go to college, I didn't do this. And he'll instantly start talking about reasons why that isn't possible for him. Isn't that crazy? So it just shuts it down because he can't see outside. Now, if he could see that it is actually possible, I mean, can't just people are doing this every single week here and in other places, other areas, whatever. People are making that kind of money. Shit, $2,000 a week is pennies to some people. But to James, and what he was thinking about, he can't do that. But then when he can see it, if somebody can make him feel like, hey, this is possible, and even, I'm sure a bunch of you, when you started working here, you didn't think the money was like, until you actually, that thing hit your paycheck, and you're like, wow, damn, that's wild. I felt the same way here too. It's like you feel like you're stealing. What are you gonna say, Mike?
I was just saying the same thing with me. I told them in the training class when I first started in Stoller, I thought it was a pyramid scheme.
Yeah. Cookout's a pyramid scheme. Every damn thing in this world's a pyramid scheme. Somebody owns the damn place. Like, don't even get me started on that whole rap. That's wild. But for Jack, like, he could not physically say, I'm sitting here, we're talking about the money and everything. He's just like, golly, just what was blowing his mind at the potential he had. But I knew that he did not sincerely believe it. If he did, it would have been like, he would do it. If people sincerely believe in the opportunity they have here, nobody would quit. Does that make sense? For whatever reason, they can't see that it's actually possible. And they'll come up with whatever type of little excuse that they have on the reasons why it isn't real, or they'll come go, oh yeah, you can't really, they tell you this, tell you that. But it's just that they can't see it. And people get stuck in this little circle because they are maybe scared to venture out or think it's not possible. But it is. Us as people are so extremely powerful. Like, we're the most powerful thing on the planet. With our brains, with everything. But there's so many of us that are powerless. because we're scared to venture out or see past that thing. It's wild. So anyway, that was just my whole thought. Then I started saying, thinking outside the circle. So how can we get outside of that circle? We have to sincerely believe that what we are doing or what we can accomplish is true. We have to strive for it. We have to at least try and go out and not let that, y'all know this guy, that little thief, get inside that brain and start digging so deep into your pockets you won't have lint left. It's done it to me before. Shit, I've worked at a couple jobs back in the day that was back when, minimum wage was $7.25, I think. I was making $7.25 doing construction, cutting rebar, pouring concrete, building McDonald's and whatever. $7.25 an hour. Tell you what, it ain't fun. But do you guys get what I'm saying about this circle? Can you think back to a time where maybe you've stopped yourself from believing you could do better? Isn't that crazy? That you're like your own enemy, and we talk about this all the time here, but you literally are your own worst enemy. Now, here you're in a position where you can control your future, you can control your outcome, you can control your money here. Nobody takes care of it for you, and it all depends on you. If you don't get up and go out one day, that's you. Anybody got questions on this? So being outside the circle thinker, don't let yourself hold you back. Because the potential is there. You have the power to make it happen. You have the power to reach your goals, and that's what I'm getting ready to talk about here in a second. But you have the power to do these things. You just have to let it happen. You got to move forward to it. That makes sense? All right. Now, PTM, paid training mindset, or paid training mentality, I guess I'll say. Paid training mentality. Now, I don't know, some of the newer folks, who was that? What was that fella? Who decided he didn't want to do it because he wasn't going to get $12 for being in the meeting?
Nicholas.
Yeah.
For an hour.
He texted me about this, and listen, people are people, right? You're always going to have the folks that do that stuff, which is fine. But he sent me that text, and the guy says, so you ain't gonna, just to be clear, I'm not gonna be paid for the rest of it, which would be, I guess maybe if he came back to maybe $24, like that he's worried about. He's got that paid training mentality, where he feels like that we need to pay him for sitting here at this training. Now, what you guys are acquiring here at this training, what you acquired at when Mike was training with the onboard and the basic training, that is your tool. We're talking to you about the tools that you need to go out and be successful here. Because we're not in the business of setting people up for failure. I will not do it, Mike will not do it, the leaders here in the office will not do it. That's not what this is about. We want you to truly maximize your potential so you can see it. It's nothing more rewarding to me than when I go through those paid, I see them big numbers getting hit. Like, I'm going to get so damn excited when Kane gets paid this week because he's going to be making $2,100. And I'm going to look, I'm going to say, I might even send him a screenshot of it and ask him how it feels on Friday morning when he sits up in that bed. That's what truly excites me, because we have the potential to get outside this shit and people can realize, holy shit, I can make $2,000 in 25 hours. And then you got people that you never go back at that point. You understand the game and you love the control you have over your future, over your income, everything. But anyway, so I guess the guy's name, Nicholas, had that paid training mentality. Now he just missed out because he's worried about a couple dollars. These trainings are so valuable to your success. It's almost like, what if I told you, those two trainings that the onboard and basic training, it's like, what if I told you before you even said it, hey, you can come spend a few hours, don't call it 3 hours total, maybe an hour and a half each time. If you drive down to the office, spend 3 hours, I'm going to show you how to make at least $1,100 a week. Would that be worth it? Would you say, okay, did you sacrifice 3 hours to learn how to make that money?
Yes, sir.
Not Nicholas. Not him. Who knows where he's going to end up? Now, maybe he'll end up with that person right there. But I'm talking about Popeyes. Yeah, at Popeyes. Let me go ahead and jump on that real quick. So I found this. Now we're talking about all the money. You've heard, you know how you can make the money and the potential you have here. But this is what I'm talking about. This is what people get stuck in. This is that circle right here. Because in my mind, who in the fuck would work here for the type of money that you get paid? And I'm gonna tell you, so and before I get on this, I'm not bashing people. I've worked for, like I said, $7 an hour. Like the jobs exist for a reason. Whether it's for the opportunity, that maybe it's for people like us to go out and we work there and we're like, I'm never doing this again. Then boom, we go create something great. Right? They're there, and they'll always be there, and they'll be for the people like Nicholas, who says, no, I'm not giving you 3 hours of my time to make a fortune. I don't care. That's fine. But anyway, I love collecting these little things. So I'm over there, and I'm getting that new, Popeye's chicken sandwich, a spicy one. I got 2 of them. I love them things. So I'm sitting there, and I saw this little postcard, and I was like, make your next move here. And I said, ooh, that's got to be like some type of recruitment thing. And I picked it up and looked at it. I said, yeah, please apply online. And I flipped it around, and basically it's like find the manager on call, write your contact information down here and give it to them. Listen to this. Join our team. These are the benefits you get from it now. Build your skills. Free medical insurance for 30 hours plus. Learn more, earn more programs. Closed Thanksgiving and Christmas. Flexible work schedules. Here's a big one. Meal discounts, on or off duty, and advancement opportunities. So I said, okay, the person was like, oh man, that might be the real deal. I Googled how much the pay is for this. Now this is what got me. When you start off with any title other than manager, $8.50 an hour. $8.50. 30 hours? $255 a week.
Before tax.
Yeah, before taxes. So maybe 200. Maybe you come away with $200. Now these people are in there working hard. And maybe 40 hours. What's 40 hours? 40 times, 40 hours times 850 was like 320. Maybe it's like $320. But now these people go in and they work, just like James did. He worked for Cookout for that long, and he hated it every single day. I'm sure people who work here probably hate it. If you love work, I mean, shit, maybe you'll own one day. I don't know. Those opportunities are there, but you got to work a long time for that. Unless you just got the money to drop on a Popeyes and buy it right there on the spot. You walk in with a briefcase full of hundreds and say, hey, I'm going to buy this place. All right, great. But then guess what? It says, and I saw the management. For anybody with a manager title, guess how much they get paid? $11.25. $11.25 for that. And I'm just sitting there like, I couldn't imagine it now. Maybe back in the day, when I was making that $7.25, $11.25 would be like, hell yeah, like I need to go make that. Because I couldn't see the potential at that point. But you guys get where I'm coming from. These people work 40 hours for that, and they work it for years and years and years, doing the same thing. They hate what they do every single day. They don't have control of their situation. Well, they do technically, but they can choose to get out and go make more or venture out and find a better opportunity. And some do, which I love that. But some people, and I'm sure everybody knows someone, we could have been those people at one point that were just stuck there making that money and just wouldn't even imagine that it could be a potentially better opportunity. We get in that hourly mindset or that paid training mentality. Y'all know what I mean by that now?
So that raises about $120 a week. So one more pitch from 6 to 7. And they had to work how hard to become a manager from where they were at.
Yeah, maybe they stayed there for 3 years, and then the person comes in and says, oh, you've been working so hard, you've been on time every day, you've left late every day, you scrubbed them damn fryers hard. We're gonna promote you up to be a manager, but first they'll probably give you that 25-cent raise. Now, see, everybody knows that feeling. You know that. They come in after you've been working hard, and I mean, just giving them everything. They say, oh, you've been working hard, you make us so happy, we're going to raise you 25 cents. 8-hour day, $2 a day. $2. Isn't that crazy to think about it now? When you know the opportunity that you have here where you can go out and just instantly get a raise. You can make whatever you want to make here. You don't have to stop working. There's no cap on what you can work here. There's no cap on the income. You control it all. Just take advantage of that opportunity. All right. Let's move on. Everybody still on board? Sir? Paid training mentality. Stay away from that. Next, I want to talk about V.A.C. Those three, they're the acronym, whatever it stands for: visualize, analyze, capitalize. I come up with these three words, it's probably about 6 years ago now. I got them scratched down on a piece of paper somewhere. But initially, how they came to me is that when I was about 25 years old is when I read a book called The Compound Effect, and it kind of opened my mind up to see opportunities and potential and realize, like, hey, there is more out there than doing what you're just doing. But visualize, I started thinking about it. First, we got to visualize. If we want to ever go somewhere or do anything, when you wake up in the morning, you got to visualize what the hell you're going to be doing for the day, don't you? You got to think about it. I mean, you got to visualize your goals. You got to visualize your health. Like, whatever you want in the future, you pretty much got to foresee it and look and say, oh, you create that image, create that picture. Maybe it's something you want to achieve, whatever it is. But you have to get that vision first. Then the next thing, I started thinking, I was like, all right, yeah. Then what do you got to do after that? And I started thinking, oh, you got to decide, think about it. But I wanted a catchy word to go with visualize. I kind of went analyze. You have to visualize it, then you have to analyze that vision, figure out the course or the right path to take to get there. You have to come up with a plan of action, decipher the code, whatever you want to do, but you have to make it write a treasure map. Essentially, how am I going to get there? How am I going to complete this vision or this dream or this goal that I have? Analyzing it, coming up with a plan of attack or plan of action, whatever. Once you have that, now this is where everybody falls off though. They get these ideas, they figure out how they could do it, but then they do not capitalize. They never take action on what they had thought about. Their plan of action, they never take action on it. It just sits there. It disappears, just evaporates into the atmosphere, whatever. But that action, that's how you make it happen. Visualize, analyze, capitalize. Those three words are powerful. And when you can think about that, and you can think it's almost as simple as just like those 4 keys right there. You have set things. It's like, okay, here's my goal. Here's how I get there. Take action. It's literally that simple. Or you could tie it into here. Maybe you want to go out and hit 10 pitch. See the plan. Figure it out. How you're going to do it, whether it's putting in the time, learning your pitch better, maybe tightening up on your pitch percentage, getting the bills more, whatever that case is, and then you just do it. Think about Nike. I think about Nike all the time. I'm telling you, that just do it, it's the real deal. They hit the nail on the damn head with that. Just do it. It's true. Because without action, how could you ever achieve anything? You got to take that action. Y'all know what I mean? Visualize, analyze, and then capitalize. That's going to lead you to your goals. And with that whole, where people fall out on the capitalize part, that's conforming to the norm. The norm is inside that circle that we like to think in. Do not conform to the norm. Remember that. Do not conform to the norm. The norm is what keeps, that's what that, and I got a new enemy for you too, the mediocrity monster. Ooh, if you let that mediocrity monster crawl out from under your bed, it'll pull you right on down, and you'll be stuck in that cyclone. You'll be right here, never being able to see the outside. So you gotta be careful with that. The norm is where people go day to day. They do their job, they come back, they get stuck there, like what we were just talking about. Don't do that. Think outside. If you feel like it's what everybody's doing, you need to do more. That's what's gonna set you apart. That's what's going to raise your bar, to raise your goals, to ultimately raise your success. In anything you're doing, not just here, but anything, life. Alright. The table. This woke me up yesterday morning, because I had my flight at about 12 o'clock, but this shit woke me up at 3:23 a.m. And I wrote it down. Like, I don't know why I woke up, but this popped in my head. And I was like, how much potential are we just leaving on the table? Like, how much do we leave there? And an example I thought about is it's like, for top tier, it's 8 pitches. That's 8 people in an entire week you have to sit down to hear more about this no-brainer opportunity called soul. What if I come over to this table right here, laid out $1,120 cash money, told you to take it all, Tyler? What would you do?
I take it and book it.
Yeah, you take the money. I said it's yours. You can have it. Take it. But this is what it seems like. Sometimes people will just take $450 and leave the other $670 on the table. They will. The potential's here, but it's almost, that's the kind of the example of it when we let ourselves be slack, or when we let ourselves not actually try to maximize our potential out there. It's literally like somebody's dropping the cash there on the table and you just take $450 and I'm good, you can keep that extra. I don't need it. Isn't that wild to think about it that way? So then it's and that's as far as a money standpoint. It's how much money every week are we leaving on the table? How much are you just not caring about that you could potentially get if you went out and worked a little more, or maybe refined a little bit more, something self-developed to increase your bar? And then you think, how much of your future have you left on the table throughout your life? Think about it. You think about times and stuff, how much of your future have you left on the table throughout your years? How much of your life have you left on the table? Isn't that crazy to think about that? How much have you just left behind because of whatever reason? Maybe you were thinking inside the circle here, you couldn't see the potential. Maybe you could have read an extra book that could have told you how to reach your goal you wanted to reach, but instead you decided not to, so it just vanished. I bet that table is heavy. I can make a shit ton of stuff I've left on the table throughout my years. But now here's the good news. We don't have to now. Maybe you left $670 on the table last week. Guess what? You ain't got to do it this week. You know what I mean? So you can change. You can instantly change